So when we talk about how many answers an equation can have, there's really three options. An equation can have one solution, no solutions, or infinitely many solutions. And that is until we start getting into parabolas and absolute value graphs. Then at that point you can have things like 2 and 4 even. But for now, we're just going to be looking at the three main kinds as far as algebra goes. We have one solution, no solution, or multiple solutions. And that meaning infinitely many solutions. So when we have one solution, it's going to look something like this. We're going to have 5x plus 10 equals 6x minus 20. Now, if your coefficients are different, then there is going to be one solution. And that's a general rule of thumb. If the coefficients are different, there's going to be one solution. However, we want to know what the one solution is, so we have to go ahead and solve for x, and we have to use our knowledge that we learned with variables on both sides. So we're going to take our smallest variable and get rid of it on that side. And then we're going to get rid of the number that is interfering with our variable being alone. Okay, and when I get x equals 30, that means that 30 is the only number that's going to give us a number equals the same number. If we plug in 30, we're going to get 150 plus 10 equals 180 minus 20. Here we will get 160 equals 160, and that is true. Okay, 160 does equal 160. But if I put 10 or 15 or 25 into x, you are not going to get the same numbers on both sides. So there is one solution. That solution is 30. No solutions look like this. This says 9x plus 7 equals 9x. And when you get practice, you can see that this is saying 9 apples plus 7 oranges equals 9 apples. And there's no 7 oranges over here. So if you were to actually put these things on a scale, this scale would weigh more than this side. So we can say that there is going to be no solution, and I will prove that to you. If we get rid of our 9x, and it doesn't matter which side we go from because both of these sides have a positive 9x, we're going to be left with 7 equals 0, and that is not true. This means that if we plugged in something like 1 into our x's, we'd get 9 plus 7 equals 9, and that is 16 equals 9, and that is not true. And we could do that for every number in the entire universe of numbers, and we're never going to get something equals the same something. So there is going to be no solution. And in a general rule of thumb, if your coefficients are the same, but your constants are different, you're going to end up with no solution. And that being said, here are my coefficients that are the same, and here are my constants that are different. This is 0, because if we had to tag a constant to that, we could give it 0. Our other situation is having infinitely many solutions, and this normally happens with something like combining like terms or distributing like it does here to hide the fact that it is the same thing. So if we distribute, we get 6x plus 18 equals 6x plus 18. So here we can see, this is like saying 6 apples plus 18 oranges, 6 apples plus 18 oranges, and those are the same things. So our general rule of thumb is that if our coefficients are the same and our constants are the same, then we will have infinitely many solutions, and I will show you how. So if I get rid of 6x, and it doesn't matter which side you pull it from because they are both positive 6x, I am left with 18 equals 18, and that is true. So no matter what number I plug into this, I will always get the same answer. If I plugged in a 1, I will get 4 times 6 equals 6 plus 18, and that is 24, and that is 24. And we could do that for any number that we could possibly think of, and we will get a number equals that same number, which makes it infinitely many solutions.